guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be starting a bit of a new series for you, although it's not going to be something that I'm going to commit to do every single month or once every 3 months like I do my wrap up and TBR. This series is going to be called Janay Recommends, and in this series I'm going to be recommending to you 5 books that I love and want to share with you. Now I know I read a lot of YA and that is not for everyone, but I'm going to try and make sure that there is always a mixture of different types of books. So obviously there's going to be some YA in there because that's what I read the most of, but I'm also going to try and include some classics, some children's literature, some non-fiction, just a little bit of everything, so hopefully you'll find something in these videos. Also, before we get started with this video, I just want to mention that I do have a small announcement for you at the end of the video, so if you're interested in finding out what that is, then stick around until the end. I'm just going to say as well that these 5 books that I've chosen to share with you today are not my top 5 overall, they are just 5 favourite books that I really want to share with you. So let's get on to the first book that I want to recommend to you. The first book is The Start of Me and You by Emery, and the reason that I read this one quite recently is because it was included in the W.H. Smith Zoella and Friends book club. I love taking part in the Zoella book clubs, and this is the 3rd round of it, and I've read every single round so far, and they just give you so many opportunities to read some amazing books that I've always wanted to read. So many of the books that have been in the book clubs have been on my TBR list for such a long time. I did a Zoella and Friends book club review, which is already up on my channel, so I'll leave that link in the description box below if you want to watch a full review of this book. But I will just read the back of it for you so you know what this one's about. Can you plan happiness? It's been a year since Paige's first boyfriend died in a swimming accident, and it's time she rejoined the real world. So she makes a plan. Number 1. Date a boy. Long-standing crush Ryan Chase seems like the perfect choice. Number 2. Attend parties with best friends by your side. Doable. Number 3. Join a club. Simple enough, right? Number 4. Travel. Might as well dream big. Number 5. Swim. Terrifying. Impossible. But when she meets Ryan's sweet but so nerdy cousin Max, he opens up her world and Paige's plans start to change. Is it too late for a second chance at life? I absolutely loved this book when I first read it, which wasn't too long ago, but as soon as I had finished it I really wanted to pick it up again and start all over. It's also one of those books that I really slowed down and savoured and really enjoyed it. Normally I fly through books, I could read something like this in like 3 days normally, but I made sure I slowed down and really savoured it because I wanted to enjoy every single second. The next book is Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher, and this was also in the first round of the Zoella book club, but I actually already owned this one, but the Zoella book club just gave me the excuse to finally read it rather than have it sitting on my bookshelf. This is just a lovely book, and it's actually very similar to something that I started writing in my creative writing course a couple of years ago before I'd even picked this book up. So let me read the back so you can find out a little bit more about it. Sophie May has a secret, one that she's successfully kept for years. It's meant that she's had to give up her dreams of going to university and travelling the world to stay in her little village, living with her mum and working in the local tea shop. But then she meets the gorgeous Billy, an actor with ambitions to make it to the top. And when they fall in love, Sophie is whisked away from the comfort of her life into Billy's glamorous but ruthless world. Their relationship throws Sophie right into the spotlight after years of shying away from attention. Can she handle the constant scrutiny that comes with being with Billy? And most of all, is she ready for her secret heartbreak to be discovered and shared with the nation? I just adore Giovanna's writing, and this story is so much fun to read, but it's also such a beautiful story as well. There is also a sequel called Always With Love, which I think is also just as great, but I would definitely recommend this. The next book that I want to recommend is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Now I know most of you are probably sitting there thinking, why are you recommending this when most people that love books have already read this? But I know so many people who read a lot that have not yet picked this up. Most people already know what the Harry Potter series is about though, so I won't be reading a description, although I can't with this copy anyway because there isn't a description on the back or on the inside cover. This is a special edition version of this book for the 20th anniversary, and I just love this. I bought the Ravenclaw copy because I am a Ravenclaw, and I just love the pages. So if you haven't started this series yet, then I definitely recommend it. Please go and pick this series up. It is not just for children, and I really think you'll enjoy it. Next is a book that anyone who has watched any of my videos before will probably be expecting to be on this video, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This book is from a fantasy series, and I had never read any fantasy books until earlier this year, but so many people had recommended this series to me, and I just thought, you know what, it's not something I'd usually pick up, but I'm going to give it a try. I have never been so glad to take someone's recommendation on a book because this series is now my favourite series of all time. I'll just read the back for you for those of you who don't know what this is about. Feyre is a huntress. She thinks nothing of slaughtering a wolf to capture its prey, but like all mortals, she fears what lingers mercilessly beyond the forest. And she will learn that taking the life of a magical creature comes at a high price. Imprisoned in an enchanted court in her enemy's kingdom, Feyre is free to roam but forbidden to escape. Her captor's body bears the scars of fighting, and his face is always masked, but his piercing stare draws her ever closer. As Feyre's feelings for Tamlin begin to burn through every warning she's been told about his kind, an ancient wicked shadow grows. Like I said before, I had never read a fantasy book until I picked this one up earlier this year, and now I have so many fantasy books on my TBR list. Sarah's writing is incredible. I love the worlds that she builds, and I just think that all three of the stories in this series so far are absolutely incredible. The second book in the series, which is A Court of Mist and Fury, is actually my favourite, but obviously you need to start with this one. The final book on my list today is P.S. I Love You by Cecelia Ahern. Cecelia Ahern is one of my all-time favourite authors. I love every single book of hers. I own all of them except for the short stories that she has written, and this one was the first adult book that I ever read. This is actually the second copy of this book that I've had, because the first one I had read so many times that the pages had started falling out, so I had to buy another copy. So if you don't already know, let me tell you what this book is about. Some people wait their whole lives to find their soulmates, but not Holly and Jerry. Childhood sweethearts, they could finish each other's sentences. No one could imagine them without each other. When Jerry dies, Holly is devastated. But Jerry has left her a bundle of notes, one for each month of her year, each signed P.S. I Love You. As the notes are opened, the man who knows Holly better than anyone teaches her that life goes on. With some help from her friends and family, Holly laughs, cries, and finds that life is for living. But it helps if there's an angel watching over you. This story is just incredible. The idea for it is so unique, and this is actually the first book that ever made me cry. Also, like I said, this is the second copy of this book that I've had, but I now have a third one that I'm going to show you now. So this is my new edition of P.S. I Love You, and I absolutely love it. This was bought for me by my husband last weekend for our first wedding anniversary. Other than the copy that I'm holding in my hand right now, I'd only ever seen this edition of this book once before, and that was right after I'd bought my second copy of P.S. I Love You, so I couldn't justify buying this one. I'm so glad that he bought this for me, and I will treasure this copy forever. So those were 5 books that I would recommend to you. If I have any reviews for any of those books, then I will leave a link for them in the description box below so you can go and read or watch in a bit more detail. If you've read any of those books that I've just shown, then please share your thoughts on them down below in the comments section. I would love to know what you think of them. Also, if you have any book recommendations for me, then please feel free to leave those in the comment section as well. I'm always adding to my TBR list. And I just have a really quick announcement for you guys as well. For the month of November, I am taking part in National Novel Writing Month, which I will leave a link for in the description box if you don't know what it is and you want to find out a little bit more about it. Basically, it is a challenge where you try and write a whole novel in 1 month. Since I did a couple of creative writing modules with the Open University as part of my degree, I have had so many different novel ideas, so I finally decided to sit down and go through them and choose one that I wanted to try and write. I had a couple of stories that I couldn't choose between, so I sent a short synopsis out to a few friends and family and just said to them, what one do you think? And the results were unanimous, so I have a story that I'm going to try and write now. It's only going to be a first draft, so I'm not expecting some amazing, fully fledged novel by the end of it, but I do want to try and get a first draft done so that I can at least say I've written it and then I can work from there. So what I'm going to do for the month of November, rather than sit down and film separate videos for you like the one that I have filmed today, I'm going to do vlogs throughout the month of November. I don't know how long these videos are going to end up being. They could be really short, or I could end up showing you a lot of the process of me writing, and I could have a lot of content to share with you. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to give it a go and try and film some of the process of my writing. So the next 4 videos on my channel are going to be writing vlogs, and hopefully you like them, and hopefully I get a good amount of writing done. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more recommendation videos like this, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up so I know to do more for you. And I will see you again next week when I do my first writing vlog. Bye!